right, welcome back to the casual hike. Right now we're casually driving up Mill Creek Canyon. And you might be able to hear the excitement in Godfrey's voice because I think he remembers being here. We're heading up to Dog Lake, and we try to get up there 6 to 6:30 in the morning, and then we're done after a couple of hours, and then I drop them off at a dog daycare while I do my business in Salt Lake City. So looking forward to a good hike. Hopefully it's not raining up there. This is sort of what it sounds like when a 10-year-old dog gets excited to go hiking. He's a bit much. All right, we're at the trailhead. It's a little bit dark, so there's not much to see right now. I'm gonna have to use my flashlight in a couple of minutes here. Too dark to see much of anything. So I forgot to mention the conditions. It's like 54 degrees because we're up in the Wasatch Mountains, up Mill Creek Canyon. I forgot what the trail name was called. Let's go look at it again. I think it's Little Big Water Trail, and it leads up to Dog Lake. There's a loop where you come back, I think down Big Water Trail, but we usually do this as an out and back. So also the altitude, it's like over 7,500 feet up to start above sea level. So naturally I'm not used to the thinner air here, so it takes me a little bit to get used to it. It was raining here earlier. I think the streams are really flowing. Can't see anything yet. The sun doesn't come up in Salt Lake City till like 7 a.m. So we got about a half an hour. There's some light right now starting to creep in, but it's still way too dark for video. Well, there's finally enough light to see a little something. So the cool part about hiking with your dog up in Mill Creek Canyon, I just finished a pretty steep incline, and in this altitude, I gotta really pace myself. Anyway, the cool thing is on odd numbered days, mountain bikes are not allowed on the trails, and dogs are allowed without their leash. So it's very cool. Pressure free, and you can just go and hike. Come on, Godfrey, let's go. Find a stream. That was a pretty hefty incline. But it's an absolutely beautiful morning. I love coming up here. So we're a little over the halfway mark. This is a tougher hike on me than last year, maybe because I'm getting old too. I think I just forget how difficult it is when you haven't been hiking for a couple of months, then to go and do this trail in the thin air. But we're coping and just keeping our pace. Let's go, Godfrey. I've taken this picture more than once. This, I keep saying that the next episode will be shorter than the one before, but this one I think for sure, because this trail is really kicking my ass today. It's been, I think I haven't been hiking since sort of the end of June, and then I come up here and do this. So, you know, I've just been kind of saving my energy for these flat sections to try to talk about the trail and what's going on. Because when I'm coming up the steep sections, I'm just sucking air and just trying to concentrate, watch my footing, and keep track of Godfrey. But we're almost there now. It's like 0.2 miles left to get to the lake. One thing I notice, it's really quiet up here near the top. There were some birds down below. I don't know if you could hear it. I'll find out when I listen back to the recording. But up here it's like dead silent. What's up, Godfrey? What's up? You good dog? Good dog or bad dog? Let's go. Looks like they've been doing some forest management, which is good. Some controlled burns, getting rid of some of the underbrush. That's good to see. So this was the first time somebody has beaten me up here. We just came across another hiker with his golden retriever. Usually I'm the only one here. First time for everything. But on the plus side, meeting another hiker with a dog on this trail, Godfrey was civilized, which is a rarity. He really doesn't like other dogs, but he's better off leash because then he can just go his own way. But he likes people, and the guy was like really friendly to Godfrey, so he didn't even pay attention to the other dog and just paid attention to the guy. Anyway, we are about here, just down a little hill and to the lake. I swear he remembers the lake. I think this is his 5th trip on this hike. Whenever I bring him, this is where I try to go. I know we missed once because it was raining and I just didn't want to hike in the rain. I don't have any rain gear. There he goes. Dog lake and a dog in the lake. Wow, what a morning. You can tell he likes being here. You got a stick? Disturbing the peace. So this is why we come. He doesn't get to see water much anymore. I mean, we go in the North Georgia woods, the North Georgia mountains, and we go hiking, and he goes through the streams, but there aren't a whole lot of lakes in the North Georgia mountains that I've found that he can actually just run in to swim like he can here if he feels like it. This is just too beautiful. That's why I like to come before other people, because somebody really doesn't know how to behave in the wilderness. Somebody has a little bit of an issue. Hey, Godfrey. I don't want you to go swimming too far out. You're going to drown. You haven't been swimming in years. Oh, now you went and hurt yourself. Too excited and you hurt yourself. You'll be all right. My dog is such a big baby. He's running with the stick. He probably hurt himself in the jaw. So now he's pouting. Pouting and crying. But in a few minutes, he'll recover and he'll be just fine. So it took us a little less than an hour to get up here. It's 7:30 right now. Got started a little after 6:30, I think. And it's just kind of what we do. We come up, let him run around the lake. And you see he was crying earlier. He's fine now. He's just a big crybaby. We just walk around. We walk around the lake a little bit. Take a few pictures of this stunning view, of which I've taken a million pictures of this stunning view, but it doesn't matter. Then we'll continue on back to the car and off to Godfrey's daycare for the day. You got your swim in, that's enough. I need you to be able to walk back down the hill. At least after getting you past this one little incline to get back to the trail, you can either go left and take the loop or go right and come back the way that we came, and that's what we're gonna do. But it's all downhill the rest of the way after you get past this little incline. Let's go. I really do look like a train wreck. Guess what happens when you get old? You get old, you look like a train wreck. The advice is, don't get old. Good luck. I just got a notice from my phone that my storage is low, and I'm gonna run out of space before I can finish this. I hate these phones with only 128 gigs. This is a Pixel 7a, and it maxed out at 128 gigs. No SD card slots, nothing. Makes me angry. So I'll probably wrap things up here. It's just really a straight walk down, back to the car. I might snap a few more pics, but that's probably the end of this episode of the podcast. So I'll do my boilerplate stuff when I get to a computer, and I can just record on there. Go ahead. Go drink. Go drink. Okay, we're at the Pipeline Trail, and we're here at about 6:20 in the morning, and so you can't see anything. I think I'm gonna string these hikes together as one podcast because these are all going to be short, because I don't have as much. I'm starting out way earlier than I normally do when I'm in Georgia. But this is supposed to be an easy trail, and I figured it would be good for him because the Dog Lake Trail was pretty strenuous after not hiking for a couple of months. So this will just be a nice leisurely hike. Can't see anything. Barely even the sky. There's also some haze from some Idaho wildfires. Which makes the sky a little bit darker, but the sun should be coming up over the top of the mountain, I think, in about another 20 minutes. This is another brisk morning. It's a little bit more chill than a couple days ago. The temperature reading on my Jeep said it was 51 when we got out. I think it was in the mid 50s when we were up at the Dog Lake a couple days ago, but this is another odd number day, so Godfrey will be allowed to be off leash, but I'm not going to take him off leash until we get a little bit more light, because I don't want him running off into the woods and I can't find him. But if you have a dog and you're in the Salt Lake City area, Mill Creek Canyon allows for off leash days on odd number days, and it just makes hiking with your dog easy. So there probably isn't going to be a whole lot of video or pictures to look at on this one because it's a short trail and it's still dark, but the trail's relatively flat once you get up onto it. And when you get to the end of this trail, if you feel like it, you can continue on up to Grandeur Peak, which I did that trail, I think in 2017. Maybe it was, no, it was probably earlier than that because I didn't have Godfrey yet. And that's a pretty hefty climb up to the top, but it's very cool when you get there. But this one is just kind of a really short, I would call this like a nice leisurely early morning, evening hike, you know, when there aren't too many people here. Because I assume this easy trail will attract a lot of people who don't like more strenuous hikes. There's a little bit more light now I can see, but on the camera is not really picking any of this up yet. You can actually see the sky now. I'm gonna let Godfrey off leash soon. A few more minutes. So we got a little more light. See the sun, you can see the trail a little bit. You can see Godfrey finally off leash. Soon the sun will be up. So this trail just kind of follows a ridge line and mimics the road down in the canyon. So you're just kind of walking back down the road. You can actually see the road from here and see some cyclists. So we just encountered a trail runner, a jogger, and he was very quiet. Couldn't hear him coming. Came around the corner, startled Godfrey. Godfrey barked at him, scared the guy, but there's no interaction because Godfrey likes people. But it just startled him that somebody came from around the corner running. That trail runner reminded me of when we were hiking in Georgia and some people came by on horseback on a trail that allowed horses, and Godfrey had never encountered a horse, especially up close. That spooked him too. But thank goodness he didn't bark at the horses. I think he was just more scared of them. And then just kind of retreated near me and let them go by. So the trail seems mostly wooded with like areas that open up. So you can see the sky and you can see the mountains and some really nice views. But a lot of it's wooded, so even if this is in the middle of the day, at least this first half or whatever I'm on. But here, now you can see, as I'm coming out of this wooded area, it opens up and then you get these mountain views, which is very cool. You kind of come out and everything just opens right up, as opposed to wide up. And I wish there was a way I could adjust the exposure on the video side of the camera. Maybe there is and I just don't know it. Because then you could see more. Very cool. Okay, it looks like now we've finally got enough light for some video. You can see, I don't know if you can make out the road. You can see cars coming up the road. You can see the headlights. I don't know if this shows up on camera. This is what we're looking at, just basically a ridge line and then these mountain views. The sun about to come up over that ridge. You wondering where I am? Let's go. Let's go. You know, I mentioned before that Godfrey's getting old. He's 9 years old. He'll be 10 in December. And on our hikes over the last year, maybe two. Godfrey, get out of there. Godfrey, get out of there. Over the last year or two, he's been getting really stiff after hikes. And my vet recommended glucosamine and chondroitin, you know, and he had a name brand to give him, and I was skeptical. I'm like, what does that stuff actually do? But because he was so stiff, and he would kind of cry and not want to go up and down stairs after a hike, I'm like, okay, what does it hurt? I'll give it a try. And I'm shocked to say it actually works. Because we went on that hike yesterday up to Dog Lake, which was strenuous. And we haven't been hiking in a couple of months. And while he was still a little stiff, but nowhere near the same amount of pain he was in before. So if you got an old dog, the brand name I bought was Cosequin out of Costco. I give him 2 tablets a day, and I'm happily surprised to say that it works. So I was on that slight incline a couple of minutes ago. Now here's a little bit of a decline with some loose dirt, so you gotta be careful, but what I read is that pretty much the extent of the elevation here for this trail. It's not supposed to be terribly strenuous. It's rated easy. There's supposed to be some water feature at the end to see what that is. Godfrey's waiting for me. This is the end of this part of the trail. This is the bridge and the stream. Easy peasy. We did that in about 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes to get here. Good boy. Good boy. So that was that. We are heading back. And the reason I ended this, we're not going to go on a hike tomorrow anywhere. We leave in a couple of days, so I just wanted to do a nice light hike before we leave. I don't like to do anything too strenuous with him, before we're ready to go back home. So that way it's a nice peaceful drive home and he doesn't have any injuries of any sort. Plus, Mr. Senior Galoot over there doesn't know his own age. Godfrey, no. Get out of there. Keeps wanting to go down the hill. Can't let him do that. He'll never get back up. So all in, this hike is about 3 miles long. But it's all flat, or mostly flat. So it's relatively easy. Even on a hot day, I could see this being a pleasant hike. With all the tree cover, and then you got that stream at the end for your dog to drink. And we're gonna come up to the only elevation is like a hill. You just gotta go up and go down. It's really small, really short. Godfrey, this way. Nope, don't go down there. There you go, look at that. How this opens up. Got like a rock slide area. Okay, so this is the section with the only elevation on it. And really you just kind of climb up this short hill and down the other side, and you're golden. It's up. We're at the top of the hill. And now it's just going down. And that's it. The rest will be flat. So we just ran across a hiker with a couple of dogs and a couple of barks from Godfrey, but he did okay. Maybe he's maturing. I doubt it. I doubt it. The funny thing about the hike up to Dog Lake is normally I wear compression sleeves on my knees because I get like fluid buildup and it's real painful to come down. And I totally forgot to put them on. And I was quite surprised. So now I ran across a trail runner with a dog jogging behind him, and Godfrey decided he wanted to try to follow. But he's much better at recall now. Just give him a little here and he actually returns. But back to my knees. I was pleasantly surprised that my knees weren't in pain all day. I was even able to come down the hill. So given the number of people we've run into already, I'm guessing this is a pretty popular trail to run. Godfrey, no. Here. 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 This dumb dog. Gotta keep him on the trail. Come on, let's go. Go. So So we're getting near the end. Godfrey has survived encounters with multiple people and many dogs and no fights. It's a good day, good morning so far. Well, I shouldn't count my Godfreys until I'm back in the car. I am sure glad we started this one early though, because we've encountered so many people. It's definitely going to be a popular trail and probably packed with people later on. And this is Thursday. I don't look any better today than I did a couple days ago. Oh well. It's the fact of being an old man. Back to walking. So these are parts of the trail nobody was able to see because it was too dark. But you can see them now on the way back. We're almost done. Keep going. Go. Okay, we truly are. I keep saying we're near the end, but this is it. We just passed the fork in the trail, which means that the trailhead is almost here. This was a really nice, easy morning hike. If I come back to Salt Lake City with Godfrey, these will probably be our two go-to hikes. One strenuous, one easy. Go visit the Salt Lake. Maybe tomorrow we'll just go to a dog park or something so you can take it easy in preparation for the trip home. I would call this so far a successful trip. Alright, we stopped off on the side just to give Godfrey some water. And now back to the Jeep and on to Godfrey's daycare. So when we got here, there was nobody here, and now it's full. This is it. Pipeline Trail. That's it for this episode of the Casual Hike. I'm not exactly sure when we'll go out hiking again. Probably at least one more time before I take a little trip someplace in October. But until that time, thanks for listening. And go take a hike.